The MLB trade deadline has come and gone, and Stephen Kwan is still a Cleveland Guardian. Shane Bieber is not. Paul Sewald is not, but we'll talk about that. Plus, a quarterback battle still going on in Berea. Buckeyes getting out to camp, and it's been a week, and we'll talk about all of that right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network, brought to you by our friends over at Greeny Sports Cards. We'll get into the contest here in just 1 second. We'll definitely be picking that very, very soon to try to win some cards. And we are partnered with LPV Productions. I'm Kevin Arnold. He is Ryan Mosser. You will never see on camera our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tellup. But as a Guardians fan, like we all are, but a big baseball fan, I'm sure Peter is has one of the biggest smiles on, because I can't see him either. I'm not looking to my right. It's going to look weird on camera. Let's start right there. We'll talk about everything else kind of coming up, but just coming down, and I see from Zach Meisel, who covers the Guardians for The Athletic, Ryan, and other people, that he will not be traded. So like those trades that'll probably get announced over the next 10, 20 minutes that got in right at the deadline, Stephen Kwan is a Cleveland Guardian, and that was the biggest name that was out there on the trade block. For now, you have him for the next couple months.
Yeah. I'm excited. This team is a little questionable on which direction it's going to go, but I mean, the fact that they're keeping Kwan clearly shows that they have a chance at the wild card. They think they do, at least, and they want to push it. And I couldn't be happier. I'm happy that Stephen Kwan's a Guardian, at least, like you said, for a few more months. So.
And Chris Anthony will be talking to the media here in about 25 minutes, a little bit less than that. So we'll see if we get any quotes before we get out of here. For our friends with the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, they have a big show coming up tonight, because they have a big event to preview with SummerSlam in the WWE this weekend. The first time SummerSlam will be 2 days. But nice. We're here to talk Cleveland sports, and yes, Kwan is here. It does suck that Shane Bieber is not. And you wanted to see Shane Bieber come back from injury and possibly lengthen out this rotation, which has actually been one of the strengths of the team this year, and what's allowed them to win 4 out of their last 5 series coming out of that 10-game losing streak. But he goes off to Toronto for a double-A pitching prospect. I don't have the name in front of me. I can't even remember it right now. I should probably know that.
Right?
Stefan.
Khal Stefan? Khal?
Yeah, something like that. So,
not a pronouncer.
But I think his first name is actually Michael.
Oh, there you go.
But he goes by like middle name, portion of his middle name and his last name, is what he goes by. But, you trust the Guardians are going to be able to develop that guy and take what he's shown as good stuff. He's on the IL right now in the minors, of course. And then Paul Sewald, who was on the IL for the Guardians, goes off to Detroit for cash considerations, or a player to be named later. A guy that hasn't. He was coming back from injury. He's been there. He hasn't been there. So 2 guys that you got rid of, 2 guys today that haven't really impacted your team this year anyway. So you've done what you've done with the guys here. You did not take a major piece away with Kwan. What I'm interested to hear, Ryan, is, and they don't ever tell you anything, but I know Chris Antonetti is going to be asked, how close did it come? How much were they actually shopping him?
Sure.
To me, I feel like they were never actually shopping him. They were just, it was kind of the whole Godfather offer we heard about the NFL draft. I think this is where that same kind of conversation comes in. Calls were coming to them, obviously, because people know that even though he's still got 2 years left, I can't trust that the team's going to pay him. I can't trust that he'll be here in next season. Like,
right.
I have to feel like I have to go with the Frankie Lindor line from Paul Dolan and the ownership group.
Yep.
Enjoy him. Like, we got to enjoy him the next 2 months, because we're going to be right back in this position come October, November, when they get to the offseason of Major League Baseball. And I don't feel great. I just feel good that we get more of Kwan, at least for 2025.
Right. I mean, they weren't doing their job if they weren't fishing to see what they could get for Quan. That's just, I mean, that's every GM's job in any sport. I mean, you have an asset that other teams want. You're going to see how much you're going to get. And like you said, I'm glad that they didn't sell for anything less than a Godfather offer. I mean, honestly, I'm glad they didn't sell at all. I love Quan. I think he should be here forever. So
yeah, and I saw people using the word sell when they saw Shane Bieber go. Like, I can't.
No.
You can't consider them as sellers. I would consider them almost like, neutral, or in the neutral zone on a battlefield. Like, yeah, they made some moves, but like, you never really crossed that threshold of selling or buying anywhere close today. Because again, Shane Bieber hasn't pitched since game 2 or 3, or start 1 or 2 of his season last year, which was in April. And he still, I think he might have 1 or 2 minor league rehab starts before he can get into the rotation with the Blue Jays. I mean, the Blue Jays, Toronto is basically the Toronto Guardians at this point.
Right. Yeah. Geez. I think
Andre Jimenez, they have Miles Straw.
Yep.
They have Nick Sandlin, Ernie Clement,
Shane Bieber.
Now Shane Bieber, and I think there might be one other one. So 5 or 6 players for them, come from our organization. Yes, there's a connection with Mark Shapiro and all of that, but still, I don't see it as selling.
No, I don't hate it either. I mean, I didn't see Bieber making a huge impact this year. I mean, maybe if we had a playoff run, maybe in October late. But like you said, he had 2 or 3 more starts. It's gonna take a while for him to get under his wings. We got a guy who I mean, he's got almost 100 strikeouts this season. Yeah, he's on the IL like you said. But I mean, if anything, I trust his organization is to find pitching prospects that will do well in the future.
Pitchers.
And now exactly. And they have controlled this guy now for a long time. Shane Bieber, they did not. Yes, obviously he's a Cy Young winner. But I mean, the Blue Jays are pushing to win the World Series this year. We realistically are pushing for the wild card.
Man,
I mean,
this Padres went all in.
Right. This guy's going to help us in the future, I believe. And I think that, for the limited amount of time that we are going to use Bieber this year, I mean, this is a no-brainer. I'm happy. He's the 5th overall prospect in the Blue Jays organization and the top 50 overall, I think, and he was just drafted last year, so I'm happy about it.
And I think he just became now the number 1 pitching prospect in the Guardians organization.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So I mean, you have Parker Messick down in Columbus, who was part of that futures game with CJ Kafis. Yep. I know that Delara has been a part of that in the past, and everybody's talked about those names in Columbus, and the unfortunate thing is, you couldn't really buy either this year. Yeah. And I heard Andre not talk about this, and some of the other people that cover the team very closely. I have an opportunity to cover them from time to time, but anywhere near as close as these guys. So I trust them.
Sure.
Way more than anybody else. And, they were talking about how most of their top prospects, their bargaining chips, have all been hurt this year.
Yeah.
Chase DeLauder, like he was hurt to start the year. Came back. Yeah, he was hitting the cover off the ball. There, I felt like they probably had a sense that something was wrong, and they were seeing if he could work through it or not. And then he had to go get checked out by a wrist specialist. Juan Brito. That was a guy that was supposed to be up here to start the year.
Right.
He got hurt and has been hurt most of the year. CJ Kafis has dealt with some injuries, not as much as the other guys. And there's the list kind of goes on.
Bazana hurt for 1 minute there too.
Yeah, Bazana had the oblique injury. He's come back and hit. That we could take a whole show talking about the ridiculousness of people complaining about some guys that have come up this year that were drafted in the same class as Bazana, and taking issue with them taking Bazana instead. I'm telling you right now, just give Bazana time. Like, this organization wasn't going to expedite any sort of process anyways with prospects. As soon as he came back from injury, he's been hitting the cover off the ball, and he's the perfect hitter for a Guardians organization because he hits singles and doubles. It's not about the home runs. It's about getting on base and causing traffic, causing havoc for opposing pitchers. So yeah, they didn't sell, they didn't buy. You're at 500. It feels like meh.
Yeah. I mean, that at the beginning of the season, I said, like, this is what it's gonna be. They're gonna try to make it fun, try to make it look fun without spending a ton of money, and hope that we're in the mix at the end. And I mean, a lot of people are saying this window's closing or has closed. I mean, our schedule's incredible, for the rest of the season. So hopefully that helps a lot. But also our window may be closing a little bit, but it's also opening. We got a lot of young dudes. Yeah, they might have not been healthy this year, but we have a lot of young guys that are going to be coming up in the future here. Hopefully some can play outfield. They drafted a ton of power hitters this last draft. Some guys who are saying that, I forget his name, but the guy we got out of the first round, a year ago could have went first overall if he went out. So,
yeah, unfortunately, he's hurt too. He can't even start in Lake County or anything this year. Because
this season's not a wash, but it's let's just see what happens. But the future is still bright. So
the future,
as long as we start paying our players, and
that's where the issue comes in, and that's why, while I feel good to a certain extent that we get Quan the rest of the year, like I said, we're back here in a couple months. Now it's a prolonged process, and we're in the heart of football season, so those conversations won't be as heavily talked about. We'll probably talk about it more than a lot of other people because we talk about every sport, not just football, but we will have the big emphasis on football just like everybody else. And again, it's a prolonged process because you go from whatever your last game is, beginning of October, or unless you make a run into the playoffs, from that point to pitchers and catchers reporting in February. Yeah. And even beyond that point, up until the start of the regular season, you're going to have these conversations about, are they trading for him? Ryan, in my head, I'm already almost fast forwarding ahead through that process. And and this is hypothetical, let's say that they trade him in the off season.
I think they will. So.
And they don't get what people were hearing were possible pieces. They don't get that full package.
Right.
Oh, why did you people are going to come back and say, why? And I'm telling you, it is going to be some of the same people that were saying that they were going to be upset if they traded Quan. They're going to be upset at the organization for not getting the full trade package for Quan at that time. I already know how this conversation goes. There is no winning with the just overall Cleveland sports fan. If you're a diehard baseball fan, you understand what's going on. We try to dig deeper and understand what is actually going on. Just tweeting something out or seeing someone tweet something out and reacting to it. Yeah, people can flip-flop and everything, but just please, 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 I'm going to put this note out there to the Guardians organization. Go as deep as possible into the conversations about an extension. Dolan family, know that this is an integral piece. This is your top of the lineup, consistent hitter, great defender. This is a piece you build around. Not an expendable. It shouldn't really be an expendable piece where just keep talking about when are they going to trade him? When are they going to trade him? They understand the financial aspects and ramifications in baseball and for the lower market teams. Get all that. This is a piece that you should have with Jose Ramirez, who is in his prime right now. If you're trying to capitalize on that and capitalize on some of the young guys you're seeing promise and good things from, like Manzardo, Angel Martinez, guys like that, Quan and Ramirez should be your two focal points that stick around here. Get a deal done. I don't want to have to keep talking trade.
It's going to happen.
Do I believe that anything that I'm saying is going to come to fruition, Ryan?
I don't.
Nope. But I got to try.
Right.
We got a microphone. We got to try. We have to try. Because, again, that's why I'm not, over the moon that he's still here.
Yeah.
Because I know that we're just – it's like the Browns and QBs. Kick the can down the road.
I mean, the realistic – part is we should be happy that we got him for this next 3 months, because logically we've seen what this organization does. They're not signing him. I don't know where the speculation is on what his contract he's expecting. I've heard anywhere from 13 million to 35 million. So I don't know. I'd expect 25 to 30 million. That makes sense for a player like Quan to me. They're not paying that. I mean, I doubt they'll pay the 15 million if they do, and that's crazy. So enjoy him while we got him. It stinks, but one thing I will say is that historically the Guardians / Indians have won trades. I'm not rooting for a trade. I'm not. I just think a trade is inevitable, and when it happens, I'm just gonna let it happen and see what. I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be pissed off, but it's gonna be. They're gonna target guys who are gonna help us, and like I said, they constantly have proven that they can win trades. Yes, I'd rather have Quan, but we'll see. I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to be a realist here, but it's not fun.
I love Zach Meisel, the Athletic. Because like the way he words things, of course, he has that Ramirez helmet counter on Twitter every single season. When it goes flying off his head, he said the Guardians did claim pitcher Carlos Hernandez off waivers from the Tigers. If that scratches your trade deadline itch. And I see a few responses saying never change, Zach, and I can't echo that enough.
That's funny.
That he always has like the perfectly worded way, like a perfect way to get the words out there and like piece them together to kind of have some fun with it. So, but yeah, I'm just looking to see if anybody has like reports of,
any last second
things or even like how close it may have came before they get it. Because again, that's going to come from digging a lot deeper. If you ask Chris Antonetti, what's he going to say? Nothing. Yeah. It's going to be a word salad. We are the word salad capital of the sports universe.
Yes, we are.
I am serious. We are the capital of word salad in the sports universe. What does I think the most direct person is Kobe Altman. Yeah. And even he doesn't say much, but he said more recently because you've sensed their urgency to capitalize on the window that they have.
Right.
Can you say the same thing about the Guardians?
No.
You went to Game 5 of the ALCS, and and by the time we got to this year's trade deadline, we are like crossing our fingers, going through every voodoo, superstitious thing that you can to keep Stephen Kwan. I didn't even think it was time to have those conversations yet. He's been up with the big league club for what, this is his third or fourth year? Right. It hasn't been very long. It's not like Frankie Lindor. It's mind-boggling to me that this is just the hamster wheel we go on. I mean, Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, they ain't going to say anything. You want to look at word salad? Go to the Browns.
The worst, yeah.
I saw someone tweet out and they said, because they were trying to defend the Browns and take a shot at the Guardians, and they were using the Browns to make their point, and they were saying how, the Dolans never say anything. Look at the Haslam's and how they came out this week and they talked to their fans. I was so close to quote tweeting it, but I'm just going to do it here. So they still got me. They still got me with the clickbait a little bit.
Sure.
Don't compare the Browns and the Guardians ever. What has talking ever gotten the Browns? You can be mad at the Guardians. You can be mad that we're always in this situation with our top players and we have to talk about trading them away, never signing them, never giving them the money they deserve, and they have to go play in bigger, big league club, better big league clubs that will actually pay for that talent, whether it's the New York market, Toronto's will pay their players, all these other places, they will put the money forward when it's necessary. You can be mad about all of that, Rye.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say that you're upset with the Guardians because the Dolans never talk, and yet they always find a way to never have to fully rebuild for multiple years, they're in contention every other year, versus a team that talks and talks and talks and then goes 3-14 after a great year, I can't help you.
Yeah. It just shows the way, the Guardians don't spend money, but that organization is the epitome of what you want an organization to be ran,
could spend money.
Right. And they kept Tito Francona for a long time. Now, Vogt seems like he's going to be here for a long time. There's stability and not only that, but accountability as well. So, I mean, if there's an issue I don't know, Tito is a coach that has earned the respect as well. I'm not going to go into Kevin again, but I don't know. We'll just see how this year is with them. But yeah, the coach talk, it's on me. It's I got to go check the tape. It's like all this stuff is just historical with Cleveland, and it's not fun. So
yeah, and look, the best way to put it is I'm happy Quan is here. I'm happy we get a chance to, we're at 500, 2 games, 2.5, I think, but 2 games in a loss column out of a wild card spot. Division's probably the Detroit's, but they haven't been playing great. Minnesota, who comes in this weekend, I mean, they went fire sale beyond fire sale. You need to take advantage of this weekend series against them because I know that it's going to be, let's look at the weather real quick because, you go from absolute heat to below 70 degrees. Yeah, great. No humidity, but Mother Nature decides to put a bunch of rain in for the day, so you can't do much. But this weekend, tomorrow, 76, Saturday, 78, Sunday, 82, all mostly sunny days.
Good baseball weather.
Just before we start thinking about kids are going back to school. So, families are going to take advantage of that. That ballpark is probably going to be pretty packed. There's probably some pretty good giveaways. Take advantage of this series this weekend. Now, I'm upset that I'm happy Quan's here and we can make that run. Yeah, I'm sad about Shane Bieber. That's one of my all-time favorites. But hey, I can, my wife and I can at least say that we have a certified signed Shane Bieber Cleveland jersey, and I might be more so Indians than it is Guardians. I don't know. I have to look at the font on the jersey, but it's a signed Shane Bieber jersey. And that comes courtesy of Green Sports Cards on one of their shows. And right now, Ryan, boy, oh boy, do we have a great prize for people out there.
That was a great transition, Kevin.
I
was like, I know where he's going with this. That's good. Yeah. So on our Twitter at VTL_pod is our contest is still going. It's the Muting Lot Kids, courtesy of McNeil at Reflog and Greeny Sports. We're giving away a few sets on there. All you have to do is like, comment, retweet, tag somebody, follow us and Greenies, and you're entered. Probably go for a little bit longer, but we'll do the giveaway here relatively in the next few weeks, pretty soon. And
why don't we put that at 2 weeks?
Let's do 2 weeks. Yeah, that's cool.
2 weeks from now, we'll announce the winners right here. So we'll try to get a tweet out that 2 weeks from tonight, somehow, some way, we'll do a show. Or if we can't do a show, we haven't even talked to Peter about his schedule yet. His schedule is about to get crazy.
Mine too.
He's giving me the thumbs up. So
cool. 2 weeks we'll do the giveaway. Yeah. So go on there. You got 2 weeks. Tell your friends. A lot of people are, they were coveted when they came out. Big Play actually tweeted out that they saw them on the local resale market at flea markets going for $20 a card, which is insane.
Jeez.
So, I mean, obviously
they're going to be bringing new ones out soon,
we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying people bought them, but they were selling them for $20 a card. Yeah. So, nonetheless, they're of value to somebody apparently, and I think they're really cool, and I want to pack myself. So
it's a great idea. It's a great concept,
and all the money went to the Cleveland Food Bank. So just a really, really cool giveaway that Greenies was gracious to sponsor, and really cool that McNeil and Reflog set that up. So, and
it's caricatures type thing, and some of it may poke fun, whether it's your type of comedy or not, but it's all in Cleveland fans trying to cope with days like today where we're holding our breath every single minute up until we see a tweet from Zach Meisel and the other people, but I saw it from him first. That's according to a source. Stephen Quan wasn't getting traded, and at this point that's not going to happen. I believe we'll be getting some quotes tweeted out soon from Chris Anthony, so I'll try to keep an eye on that on Twitter as we transition to team that I would never compare to the Guardians. It's 2 different entities, but we love them all the same. And that is the Cleveland Browns, as they are 7 days into training camp. Quarterback battle is in full swing. You got quarterback trackers all over the place. Who's doing what? I think one day Shadur went 9 for 9. Another day Dylan had a great day. And, unfortunately Kenny Pickett got a hamstring injury. So there's talk of him possibly returning to practice tomorrow. You wonder if he's pushing that to try to keep his name in the competition. Soft tissue injuries are not something to mess with, but just everything you've kind of seen I haven't had a chance to get out to training camp. I'm sure you guys haven't been to training camp to see it in person. So all we can do is based on the reports and the video that we've seen. What do you make of where the Browns are right now?
Yeah, I'm going to go to training camp tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my followers, I'm going to shout him out actually, graciously gave me 4 tickets so I can take my boys. So that's really cool.
That is awesome.
His name is Brett Wheatley. Go follow at Brett Wheatley. Really cool guy. He randomly just gave me them just because he saw that I needed some. So really cool. But yeah, I'm not counting the passes. I feel like a parrot here. Like constantly repeating myself saying like we need to figure out what these rookies can do, or Pickett at this point. I mean, yeah, Pickett's on the last year of his contract, so if he does end up being the guy, it'll be a little bit more iffy if we can sign him. But we have those first round picks. We need to figure out what we have. I honestly thought that when it was reported that Justin Fields went down, and they thought maybe it was an Achilles. Luckily, it was a toe. He's back practicing, but I thought maybe Joe Flacco was on the table there for a possible trade. I was pushing it, because he played for the Jets. But I think 4 quarterbacks is too many. I think 2 veterans is too many, especially when we got to figure this out. So stick to Joe, stick with Kenny, stick with one of them. I expect them to start the first few games, and then I expect I don't know if I expect, but I would hope that they would eventually get these rookies in to see what they got. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if they don't stick with all 4, you feel like the moving piece is one of the veterans.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
like,
it has to be.
I know that Shedeur is only a 5th round pick, but it's a 5th round pick that doesn't feel like a 5th round pick.
Yeah.
And you can talk about whether that was fair to Dylan Gabriel or not, because you had him rated higher, you picked him, and then you felt bad for Shedeur and his dad and the family, and you hey, he's here. Yeah, and everybody's gotta compete against each other. How fair is the competition? I'm not here to judge that or not. I mean, you'll get some observations tomorrow. I'm sure you'll be tweeting some of that out as well from a different set of eyes. Of course, Jordan Hicks retires. You're losing pieces right now. I want to send
Martin Emerson.
I want to send all the best to MJ Emerson.
Jeez, dude.
Like, I know he didn't have the year that he wanted, but we always say on this show, and Jay brought it in, and I was kind of saying it around the same time. Don't talk about it, be about it. And that came from the Browns because they always say the right things. They never do the right things.
Okay.
But I genuinely believe that everybody that was talking about, and it's the players, the coaches, media members that were saying how much work MJ Emerson, how seriously he took his mistakes, his inability to have the same progress in his career last year.
Right.
And really wanted to come in and show that last year was the anomaly, not the norm. I know he put in a lot of work. He put on some extra pounds. Does that lead to injury? Like that again, that's conversations for different people. The Achilles ruptures, I hate seeing it happen so often, especially in the NBA.
Sure. It's
non-contact, but all the best to him because that is not an easy recovery, and it's not for. That's not somebody that I'm going to look at and put a lot of 3-14 on last year. Yeah, He didn't have a great year, but I knew that there was more to MJ Emerson. It looked like it was just something. As soon as one thing goes wrong, it's just you're trying to fix so much that you're really taking yourself the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And again, I believe everybody that's saying that he put in the work and was ready to have another big year. Those are the moments. Because you see the person.
Sure.
And when you have everybody saying, this is a guy that lights up the room. He's always smiling. Nothing gets him down. But, what you don't see behind the scenes and the work that he's putting in, you get that.
Yeah.
It's just you're missing pieces that you expected to be here already. Jordan Hicks retires. JOK was, already announced out for the year.
Quinshon Judkins and that
he still hasn't even – signed his contract. He's still dealing with the legal matter down there in Florida. The alleged incident of battery, domestic violence type thing. You don't. DeJuan Jones went down, but just heat-related stuff. Yeah. You saw him. DeJuan Jones, cart. You saw those words in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Not fun to go through that, especially the day after MJ Emerson.
Saw he was wearing 71 too. You see that? Jed Wills' number, which is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Not 79?
No, 71. Jed Wills' number.
I guess I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he's putting the work on his body to get right. Who is it? There was I think it was the kid out of Florida that was like over 400 pounds. You may have done a
Desmond
draft.
Watson. He didn't play for he went to the
No.
Buccaneers.
He went to the Buccaneers,
Yeah.
but like, talking about kind of like getting in shape.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're forcing him to go on walks or runs like to get in shape.
I love
first.
that guy. I hope he does well.
Yeah, I hope he does well. But DeJuan Jones had those same questions about him. He's put in the work, but it's all centered around the quarterback. I do like hearing that they're tackling in practice. Like it seems like that would be a novel concept to do.
Wow. Tackling in practice of tackle football.
Yeah, like not just thudding.
Sure.
And again, it's all going to come down to can they translate what they are doing. You always have your training camp darlings. Look, I try not to get into the training camp darlings, Ryan.
Right.
But I have a soft spot for one of the training camp darlings right now.
The receivers?
The receivers, especially.
I get texts about these guys every day, man. Everyone loves Floria, man.
So
funny.
And it's more so because I covered him when he played in Mentor. When he played in Mentor in high school. Like that's just like from the work that I do, that's just like a soft spot. Like I love seeing that he's having some success. Gage Larvaden.
Yeah.
Him and Shadur have a great connection.
You know who did really good too? Devin Cajuste.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Not
to damper any. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wide open. Our number 2 is Deontay Johnson. He sucks or has sucked. So it's wide open.
They really want someone to be the number 2, but really all you know is Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver. So there are a lot of questions. It doesn't just go. It just doesn't go into the quarterback room.
Right. And the way Michael Woods too.
Yeah.
Injury.
They go to Carolina next week for they have one joint practice because they play on Friday, so they didn't have enough time to get 2 days of practice in plus a day. Like you're going to always have a day off before a game.
Right.
How do you think that they're going to approach the preseason this year? Now that you've seen that they've made changes to training camp, their off-season work, it seems like there is more intensity, and it's not just being talked about, it's being shown, and people are reporting it left and right. How do you think that they approach the preseason?
I mean, how I think they have or should, or all I care about is the outcome of how they approach it, to be honest. I mean, we had so many penalties last year. Our defense took a huge step back. Our offense was hit and miss depending on which quarterback we have. We just need continuity. We need to figure out beating a drum, who the quarterback is. So I expect them to utilize these games and to, throw Shador out there for a whole game, throw Gabriel, throw Kenny out there for a whole game, see what you got. See, there's a lot of what ifs, and how I expect them or how I think they should. Discipline, no more penalties. Like I expect accountability. I expect, some guys who aren't necessarily leaders to step up and be leaders, especially if you get paid. We'll see. I don't know. At least they're not in West Virginia right now at a country club sipping pina coladas and joking around. And apparently, Vrabel had a huge influence on that locker room at the end of last year, and and everyone said how soft they were, and now they're trying to be less soft. Will that produce? We'll see. But they're saying all right things, but I don't care what they say anymore. I don't. I want to see how they produce.
And that's where the overall thing comes from. Like, don't talk about it. Right. Like, there are certain circumstances that will, are exception. There's exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, with the Browns, like, again, I don't expect Luke Floria to be anything more than practice squad or something like that.
My buddies are texting me Wes Welker, bro. Adding them in fantasy football and dropping actual players for him.
Or Julian Edelman because he came out of the same school,
right?
Those types of.
Well, I hope that'd be great, but that's a little crazy just for a couple clips. You kind of need
the quarterback to help make that person into that too, But
his quarterback was a 6th rounder. We have a 5th rounder, so maybe.
Yeah. Look, it's again that's like a separate soft spot, but for the most part. Great. Gage is catching passes and breaking tackles against each other. Can you do that in the joint practice next week?
And against good competition.
Can you do that in preseason games? Can you do that against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champs? Like that culture that has now been established there when they were trying to run their coach out of town coming into the game that they faced us. Well, guess who the Magic Elixir tends to be for most people? The city of Cleveland. Our sports teams tend to be the Magic Elixir. Not the Cavs. Cavs are unless they're in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
God, the pain of this, like the story arc of this year, and we're only getting into
You still have a
August.
football season to go, buddy.
Still a football season to go.
It's gonna be awful.
Hopefully, in that football season, the Ohio State Buckeyes give us something to cheer about.
Sure.
They have their own quarterback competition, according to ESPN and SportsCenter, who are doing their great series of 50 states in 50 days. It's Julian Sayin and Tavian St. Clair are battling for.
That's not happening.
That's the graphic that
That's
kept
insane.
I know. That's the graphic that kept popping up, even though their first graphic said the correct way. Julian Sayin and Lincoln Keenholz.
The disrespect for Keenholz, man.
And I've seen a lot of people talking about that today. And I saw a quarterback tracker for. I swear on everything. There was a quarterback tracker for Ohio State practice today.
That's awesome.
9 of 14 for Julian Sayin and an interception.
Okay.
I believe it was 10 of 15 for Keenholz and a touchdown. 8 of 9 for St. Clair. No touchdowns, no
That's
interceptions.
So funny. So funny.
Look, I mean, it's
gonna. I mean, I personally think it's gonna be saying. I mean, I think
that they're trying to like push that as much as they can.
I'm hearing nothing but Ryan Day trying to tamper that down a bit and say it's actual competition. I mean, Lincoln Keenholz is a great quarterback. He is one of the most athletic players on the team. Not saying he's the best quarterback, but like he's one of the best golfers, one of the best basketball players, just all around one of the best players and one of the fastest too. But saying his accuracy, his poise, I mean, it's going to be a competition. But I was listening to Bucknuts, 24/7 Sports Ohio State podcast, and Dave Brittle was talking about how he is also with 90. I think it's 91.3 The Fan in Columbus.
Okay.
And one of his coworkers had like a the Columbus fan.
Yeah.
One of his coworkers had a one-on-one interview with JJ, saying that during Big Ten media days, and apparently he slipped out and said, like, Jeremiah Smith, JJ, slipped out and said that, Sayin is going to be the starter. And then apparently Ryan Day allegedly heard that and asked them to re-record because he wasn't ready for, that's alleged. I mean, he said it was alleged, so take that with a grain of salt.
I saw something with JJ, with Jeremiah Smith, who, yes, is one of, if not the, I think him and Caleb Downs are in the conversation for best players into this college football season. Caleb Downs is going to, he's going to be a high draft pick. That's
top five for sure.
Top five for sure. But I saw Jeremiah Smith get asked, I think it was by the same station.
Okay.
And maybe this was the interview where they redid it.
Sure.
But, he was asked in a big media set at some point during this offseason, about Julian Sayin, and he had a lot of great things, but didn't mention Keenholz. And they kind of like were like, well, everybody's saying that you don't like Keenholz because, or trying to allude to the stories around it.
Okay.
He's like, I only answered the question I was asked. I was asked about Julian Sayin. I wasn't asked about Lincoln Keenholz. They're like, well, we are going to directly ask. And he was like, and he gave like the right answer, like
grain of salt, like I said, but something.
Yeah, but professional, like that's what they train you to be at Ohio State. In this quarterback competition versus the Browns, like there's varying opinions on whose job it is to lose with the Cleveland Browns.
Sure.
But it's like, even if it's only 3 of the 4, it feels like it feels like a true quarterback competition. Like no one has that pole position
because we don't know what we have, and what we have that we know it is just mediocre. So
right.
I mean, it's neck and neck because it's up in the air. So.
At Ohio State, whether this is fair or not to Lincoln, look, I mean, my son could be the next quarterback. Lincoln's a strong quarterback name, apparently.
Right.
If it's fair or not to Lincoln Keenholz, it feels like it's Julian Sayin's job, and Keenholz has to completely blow everybody out of the water here in the fall camp to overtake Julian Sayin.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Vegas odds for Sayin he's in the top 5 for Heisman odds. I mean, the money's going towards Sayin. People know things. I would say, just by everything I'm seeing, everything I'm hearing, I listen to a ton of podcasts. It's going to be Sayin. Granted, unless there's an injury or something like that, but just because Sayin wins it, I think he'll run away with it. If Keenholz needs to come in, I'm very confident in Keenholz.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very confident. This guy is going to be, he's had, very limited time to play, and then when he did, he, whatever, but he's a very, very athletic kid. And even so, like Tavian St. Clair, that he's the number 2 quarterback prospect coming out of this year.
Some people saying he's going to redshirt this year.
If he does, well, if we need him, I'm confident with him is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's not many. The only weakness I see on this Ohio State team is defensive tackle, and that's just with depth. I mean, our offensive
injury today did not.
Sure. Yeah. Actually, I did not hear an injury. What was the injury?
Oh my gosh, why can I not remember his name? But there was definitely a defensive tackle
that's not good.
Yeah, and it was indoor, and then people started talking about the turf that's in the indoor facility once they moved in.
Not good.
Let me
time alone.
No.
Not while he's doing that. I mean, the linebacker core. You guys are going to be in such a treat for this linebacker core. I mean, Sonny Styles, senior, he's going to be a captain. He's probably going to wear the 0. He's going to be the head of the defense, other than Caleb Downs being the quarterback.
Edric Houston.
He went down today.
Yes, but I am seeing, I'm seeing reports here that it's not as serious as once thought, but like it was definitely like you could see his leg buckle a little bit.
I didn't hear that.
And people were like talking about the turf, like it doesn't seem like it's the most updated turf in the indoor facility like it should be. Like they've updated all the signs to be digital and added the new year of a championship up there, but they can't update the turf. Those are always conversations that everybody's always having.
Yeah.
But
Edric Houston, he was a top 10 prospect last year, the number 1 edge in the country.
Yeah.
And when historically when Ryan Day was on the phone talking about Jeremiah Smith, that is when he had just finished with Edric Houston. He committed. So we have really, really big plans for him. He's going to be a staple on the defense. Hopefully he's okay. But as I was saying about the linebacker core, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese from Cleveland, I think he's gonna be a first round pick next year. He's gonna be that good. Yep. He's JOK, that type of linebacker where you can cover everywhere. He's like 6'3", 204. And also there's Peyton Pierce, who is going to be that middle linebacker. He would have Cody Simon started, but he would have played a lot last year, but he was hurt. He has Brian, not Brian. I was thinking of Brian Urlacher, who's our linebackers coach.
Linebackers coach. James Laurinaitis.
Laurinaitis. Jesus, not Urlacher. Yeah, Laurinaitis. He was Laurinaitis' first prospect that he recruited, and he's going to be like AJ Hawk, Bobby Carpenter, this like bulldog, dude. He was a state champion wrestler. He's going to be a beast.
So if he brings out the neck thing, like
right. And then, like you're saying, the freshman, I mean, Riley Pettijohn was the number 1 linebacker recruit last year in the country. He's going to be incredible. He's going to get a lot of playing time. Eli Lee, another guy, TJ Alford. Eli Lee played for Tobin. TJ Alford out of Florida as well. We have 6 guys, 3 freshmen that are going to play, and they're going to be studs. Our safeties, Jeremiah McClellan and Caleb Downs, and then Malik Hartford. Our corners, we have. I'm sorry, I'm going off here, but our defense is going to be crazy. We have Iggy, who, if he can turn around his penalties, that was Davison Igabinosin. I cannot talk today. Sorry. He could be a first or second round pick.
He cuts down the flags, cuts down the penalties.
Dude, we got Matthews, who's going to be a beast. We have Devin Sanchez, this freshman, dude. Aaron Scott, the freshman last year. It's crazy. We are so stacked at every position except for defensive tackle. Offensive line's going to be so good. I mean, receiver speaks for itself, and running back, James Peoples is going to be a beast. CJ Donaldson, Bo Jackson, the freshman out of Cleveland, he's going to play a lot this year, and he's going to be a stud. He's going to be so good. And then Turbo Rogers, who just joined the team, who picked Ohio State over Alabama. He's a top 5 running back this year as well. So a lot of guys. Sorry, not to mention our tight end room, Max Clare, who was in the finalists to win, best tight end of the year last year.
Catch your practice today,
dude. Will Kazmarek, Jelani Thurman. The list goes on and on. Nate Roberts, who was a top tight end recruit, second behind Lincoln Cure last year. It's going to be so incredible. This team is going to be so good. The Big Ten's going to be good. Yeah, Penn State's returning a lot of guys. Michigan, we'll see. It's always up in the air with them. But a lot of people for a returning Ohio State national championship team, a lot of people were underestimating them because of this quarterback competition, and they shouldn't, because the rest of the team is stacked, and whoever becomes quarterback is going to be just fine.
Well, speaking of Ohio State, according to Jordan Schultz, Terry McLaurin, who's had issues with kind of his contract
Right.
in Washington, has requested a trade.
Wow.
Multiple sources tell Jordan Schultz. I think that's with. I think he's with Bleacher Report, isn't he?
Okay.
Is he not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan Schultz is one of the most respected NFL guys.
Sure.
So, does Washington do the same thing that Cleveland did with Miles? But Brad Steinbrook, who also does stuff with the Browns, is saying that he expects the Browns to make a call on that. And Andrew Berry's been known for his wide receiver.
He's
trades,
winning $30 million a year. We're not trading for him. There's no way.
We
can't pay him. Terry McLaurin wants his money. He feels like I think he deserves his money. He's been with a terrible team. He showed that he can be a top receiver, number one receiver when he has the quarterback in Jaden Daniels, and he deserves to get paid. He did the quiet sit-in where he went to practice but wasn't participating but was there. I think they're going to pay him. I think it's stupid not to. The only argument is that he's 30, and usually when receivers hit 30, 31 that's when they decline. So I could see where they don't want to sign him, but Buddy deserves it. Pay that dude.
Yeah.
And respectfully, I do not want to trade any assets if we're going to pay anywhere close to what he's expecting in return for a salary compensation. So
according to Tim Stebbins, before we kind of get out of here and wrap things up with what a hellacious week it's been, and it's
Crazy.
only Thursday. Call Stefan, Khal is the name of the guy that came back in the trade for Shane Bieber to Toronto. He went, like we said, on the IL last week, right shoulder impingement. He is back throwing, he will continue his rehab in Arizona for right now. Likely will join Akron this season when he is fully ready to go.
Nice.
I was just trying to see if there was any sort of quotes being put out there from Chris Antonetti talking with the media, but I have not seen anything. So keep an eye on that. I'm sure Zach Meisel, Chris Ostenheimer, Hoinsey from Cleveland.com. This is weird. Kansas City Royals get Mike Yastrzemski from the Giants. According to Jeff Passan. My wife texted me about that one. Yes. So teams that are in the wild card hunt added, I guess you could say the Guardians did nothing. They're just going to stay status quo. But you take who got you to this point.
Yeah.
Hopefully it takes you above 500 and deeper into the wild card race. But Guardians, just to wrap everything up, they trade Shane Bieber. They trade Paul Sewald. Sewald goes to the Tigers. Player to be named later, a cash consideration. Shane Bieber to Toronto to join the Toronto Guardians. I'm sorry, the Toronto Blue Jays. And we get Call Stefan, a starting pitching prospect. Looks like he goes to the number one pitching prospect in our organization, but he is on the IL, so he'll join Akron at some point. The Quan news is great for on another level today because boy, oh boy, guys, I know I didn't get a chance to really text you. It was just, so you guys know we went to Geneva on the Lake, had a great time with the in-laws, just a nice weekend trip. We had a house in Airbnb in Madison that had this nice pool in the back. Did beach travel, walked up and down Geneva on the Lake, did some mini golf and got some great food. We come home on Sunday morning after we kind of check out of our Airbnb, and we're not that far away from Geneva on the Lake, so it's not a long trip. Link's all good. We're all good and relaxed and gonna get a whole day. Usually on our vacation, we don't get a whole day to kind of reset before we go into everyday life. So we're like, okay, this is gonna happen. We were getting things out of the car. We take a couple things down in the basement. It's only about 10 minutes past. We're cleaning out her car with all the sand from the beach. And then I open the door again. I'd already been down in the basement. I open the door, and there is water. And I mean dirty, disgusting, sludge, sewage, mud, water filling our basement. And we think it's just us. And so Jana runs down. She's tossing Link's toys up off the ground as the water goes from the unfinished side and where we have our washing machine and all that. Water starts streaming all the way across to his playroom. We lose 300 square feet of carpeting.
Jeez.
But we find out in the next 5 minutes that there's a water main break on the main road that our cul-de-sac is an offshoot of. So there was like a backup and pushed water and all that stuff into homes. It wasn't just us. There was our whole cul-de-sac was full of trash going into trash day.
Wow.
Yesterday, trash morning yesterday, Tuesday night into Wednesday. And I'm just glad everybody's safe. But it's been an absolute nightmare to deal with. We worked on the basement for 2 days. We have to try to put a claim in with the people we've been running around on who we needed to talk to.
Right.
We were supposed to have someone come check our AC, our furnace, and our hot water tank because it seemed like water affected a little bit. We were trying to like determine if it's like the function of it because the hot water tank went out for a little bit on Monday night.
Right.
AC has been up and down. We don't know if it's just that system or it's water damage. They're supposed to have someone come out and check it today. Well, they accidentally realized that they were going to be sending a salesperson instead of a technician. So I'm going to take that on me. I must not have explained the situation right. I'll take that. So we got somebody coming tomorrow to check that and see if we have to put in for a new hot water tank or AC unit. Again, I'm just glad everybody's safe. If you've ever dealt with flooding in your basement, I know memories, trinkets, all of those things, they get impacted. You have to throw a lot of stuff out. We had a lot of trash bags on our front tree lawn, but everybody is safe, healthy, and those are the things that you take with you. The people that are around you. That's where you realize, stuff will be stuff, but memories up here in your brain, like they'll last forever, and as long as you got the people around you. So glad that it was a quick response to get the street fixed, to get the pipe fixed. But yeah, guys, it was a nightmare on Sunday and Monday.
I'm sorry, man. That's excuse me. That sucks, man. That's devastating.
I know you guys have dealt with stuff with the weather. It's
been not fun. I've had trees falling and flooding. Luckily, my basement's full of like all my memorabilia just filled, and it would just be devastating. So I couldn't imagine. So, luckily, like you said, no one was hurt. Things can be replaced, but nonetheless, that's really unfortunate. I'm sorry that you guys are going through that. So,
I appreciate that. And again, all the best to all of our neighbors. Everybody's just trying to help each other out. And, we got some, instead of carpeting, we're deciding to kind of go with, like the exercise mats to kind of piece together like a puzzle. Right. That's what we're gonna put on the finished side to put Lincoln's playroom that he doesn't even play in right now until the winter time when you can't go outside. So we got some time to piece that together, but that's what we're kind of going with. So thank you to everybody that helped us out. Every family member. My mother-in-law didn't even make it home yet from vacation because they had to go 2.5 hours home. We had a half hour. They went 2.5. She was just like in the last half hour of her drive. Jana calls her. She turns around and comes back and helps. And, thank you to her. Thank you to my family that's come over and helped out. And anybody that's dealt with this, we all get through it together. And if you ever need any help, reach out at VTL_pod. Yes, you can get our contest there for those cards from Greeny Sports Cards. Reach out to them, greenysportscards.com. You can always talk sports with us there. But also, if you ever need anything, need any help, need us to come out and cover something or whatever, reach out at VTL_pod. We are always open to anything and helping our community the best way we can. Boy, it's a lot of stuff to jam into one show, but I can't thank you enough, Ryan. Can't thank Peter enough for everything you guys do. We're going to keep pushing the show. We're going to keep making it better and better. And hey, if you Guardians fans, enjoy Stephen Kwan.
Enjoy him.
For Peter Tellup, Ryan Mosser, I am Kevin R. Reminding all of you sports fans out there, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all. 3,000.
Should have signed Nick Chubb.
Get the hashtag going. Extend Kwan now. Extend Kwan now. Extend Kwan now. I don't know. I can't put the proper belief behind that. But don't talk about it. Be about it. Live life. All gas, no breaks. This has been the Voice Land, the Big Play Network, brought to you by Greeny Sports Cards, partner with LPV Productions. We'll see you next time right here on VTL, the voice of the land.